We have a question from a spiritual seeker. I have had an awakening in 2022 after 12 years of sadhana. It was Kundalini awakening with the Sahasrara opening and energy flowing out. The I am affirmed itself as complete, full, and total. Post that, I had a lot of blissful experiences of oneness of Surya, Ananda, etc. for over an year, but I continued doing my business. I felt very free to choose at that point about whatever I wished to do, and I chose to continue business being a householder with responsibility. I am 48 years old and I live with my daughter and wife in a city which I would not name. Most of the time, in my thought stream, when the words I, me, they, him, her, she, is, was, that, fear come up, immediately the voice within says, I am. The business went down badly since 2023 and in 2024 due to stress and confusions. I had high BP and got hospitalized in 2024, and in those 2 years, I was totally lost and confused and was surprised that even an awakening didn't give me clarity. However, something even worse happened in August 2024, where I began to get depressed and sadness, suicidal thoughts, high anxiety, sleeplessness, memory issues, etc. took over. I got in touch with my previous guru who advised me to take Ayurveda, which has been helping to a large extent. I did take advice from a few mentors who told me to surrender completely. Each day I tell myself that I need to surrender completely and accept everything as it happens, yet I'm unsure about whether surrender is happening. How do I know if I am surrendering completely or not? Also, the mind again thinks it's going to get some goodies if it surrenders. I feel abandoned, lost, lonely, confused. Very often, memory issues plague me. Which is the best way to surrender and accept? What is the way to know if surrender is happening? Will I be fine? Are these normal issues? Okay. Are these normal issues? Yes. In some form or the other, every human being goes through all of this, whether an awakening has happened or not. Sometimes people are not even aware that an awakening has happened, and they think that a crisis is happening and that they need to do something about it. But they're not even aware that a crack in the structure of the personality has happened, which is causing all this confusion and conflict. So it is normal. Will I be fine? Of course, you will be fine. What is the way to know if surrender is happening? You feel more and more at peace. As the surrender happens, the movement of the mind gets arrested. And when the mind is not moving, peace is the natural outcome. What is the best way to surrender and accept? There is no way to surrender other than to be here and now in this present moment and allow for all that happens and yet be grounded in your very being. Your being remains untouched from anything that is happening externally. The moment your mind goes to a certain place, That is where the problem happens. My life is like this, but it should not be like this, it should be the other way, which is my own way, which I think is grand. I should be in a permanent state of peace and happiness. My relationships should be perfect. My business should be perfect. No ups and downs. But you see, this is never the movement of life. Relationships are going to be turbulent. Business, financial situations are going to be turbulent. That is the nature of life. That's the flow of life. So when the awakening happens, the mind yet is, although the being, the light of the being has been glimpsed, but mind is still habituated because of old patterns that one has been following since childhood. So it is a habit of the mind to run here and there. Then feelings of shame, unworthiness, they begin to creep in. And immediately you will notice that the biological organism, the person, will start blabbering something. They will say, this is not right, that is not right, this is the way it should be, that is the way it should be. I am trying to be better, I am trying to surrender, I'm trying to be in high vibration, yet I am failing. So it is all the story of the mind. I should be more calm, I should be more happy. Why am I unhappy right now? It is all a movement. Just watch this I that says I should be like this, I should be like that. That I itself is the key to the pure awareness. I in movement creates suffering, but not just in movement, when it completely identifies with the movement. But I in pure stillness is pure awareness. Now you say, each day I tell myself I need to surrender completely. What is the nature of this I that is telling itself that it has to surrender completely? Is this thought not a movement? If you see carefully, this thought is yet another movement which is making the mind more and more restless. What if this idea is there, this complete knowing is there, that nothing needs to be surrendered? There is no one here to surrender anything. And then we just let it be. We just accept that the surrender is also not happening. What happens then? You see, all of these movements that you are experiencing, these movements are causing depression, sadness, suicidal thoughts, high anxiety, sleeplessness. It is all the movement of the mind and the identification with the movement. And the identification is based on a story in mind. And that story is, things should be this way, things should not be that way. Why are people this way? Why are people not that way? Why is life this way? Why is life not the way I want it to be? All of this is this movement of the separate self as this and that. And Ramana Maharishi said, your job is to be and not to be this and that. So just allowing the witnessing to happen for all of this movement itself brings peace and relief and the acceptance. Acceptance will not come as per my idea of acceptance. It will not be that I will be sitting in one corner of my house and chanting the whole day, or repeating this mantra the whole day that, oh, I surrender, I surrender, I surrender. It's not going to happen that way. It's just mind modifying itself to be more mind. And the nature of mind is movement. I'm talking about the ego mind, the thinking mind, not the creative working mind. So the thing is, just root yourself into this present moment and simply watch. Watch the movement of mind. The moment it starts to spin a story, in that moment, if you watch and there is this awareness that you are not this story, but you're simply the screen on which the story is running, then the story itself will have no effect on you. Even if it keeps running, even if it keeps producing anxiety or any afflicting emotions, none of that will ever bother or disturb your peace. Because you will be rooted in your being, which is the place of highest vibration. But the moment you start to escape your suffering, either through any kind of movement or through any technique, method, trick, tip, the suffering will continue to happen. Now, momentarily, pain in life will always be there. And one cannot do much about it, but that pain in the moment does not have to become suffering in horizontal time. Horizontal time suffering is associated with the thinking mind, the mind that says, I am not understood, my ideas are not understood, I want liberation, I want peace, I want it this way, I want it that way. That is the separative mind. The mind trying to explore, analyze, investigate, philosophize. The mind trying to make sense of the world. The mind trying to say that I am broken and I need healing. That mind itself is the separative mind. There is nobody broken, there is nothing to heal. Your nature is pure awareness. Being, consciousness, bliss. You are alive, you exist, your existence is there, you never not existed, and that alone is the highest truth, because we can deny everything in our lives, but we cannot deny that we do not exist. The existence is there. Yes, the existence of the person can be challenged because being a person is not our continuous experience. But awareness is always there. You never lose awareness. So be that awareness and see this whole movement of mind from one extreme to the other without getting entangled in any of it. Do not get entangled in the highest of highs and in the lowest of lows. Both are illusory. Just be present here and now, and you will see a story, a pattern playing out. And the more light of awareness falls on that pattern, the weaker it becomes. There is less and less engagement with that pattern. Because if you believe that you are a broken human being, that you need fixing, then you will keep struggling all your life to fix yourself, to heal yourself. And there are many teachings out there that tell you that you need to do this or that to heal yourself. And yes, they all are beautiful. I'm not saying those teachings are bad, but they do provide a temporary relief from a turbulent emotion, which is fine according to me. For example, meditation, the traditional meditation that we do is excellent, beautiful. Yoga, it's beautiful. Breathing is beautiful. But they are all temporary. They have a temporary effect. But when one completely surrenders to the unpredictable flow of life, that means I don't know what is going to be tomorrow, who's going to be with me or not tomorrow, what is going to be my future tomorrow. One is completely not concerned with any of that movement and is simply rooted here and now, in this very moment, with complete indifference towards whatever is arising, but simply allowing the witnessing to happen. That is the highest vibration, that is the peace that is never lost. But when we try to alter the movement of thought, thinking that that will give us more freedom, more peace, or perhaps help us to surrender, then the trouble begins. For example, you say, I try daily to surrender completely. It is the I that is moving in this and this direction. I'm trying, I'm putting effort into surrendering. Effort is the separate self, effort is the ego. If you put effort, you're already creating stress for yourself in addition to what you have. So, surrendering completely means just being completely in sync with whatever is happening, and which includes one not being able to accept that certain things are not happening the way I want them to be. The acceptance has to be total, which can include that I see that this mental pattern is being played out in my life, which is causing me pain. And I can see that I'm unable to accept it, unable to release it, I'm unable to surrender it. That itself will bring the surrender and peace. Otherwise, we keep running from one master to the other, seeking advices, seeking tips and tricks. But the fact is, nobody knows the answer other than you yourself. Nobody will ever tell you how to be. There is no way to tell anybody how to be. Just be. And in that being, you will find the happiness and peace that you look for. And yes, you will be fine. So I hope that helps. Take care. Take care of yourself.